So, why so many people believe that aliens built the pyramids, or any ancient structure, or any ancient civilization, or that they even made us? I found this article in The Conversation that says, why some people still believe that aliens shape ancient civilizations. Is authored by these two scholars from the University of Tübingen, something like that, Germany. That's Germany. That's in Germany. And I'm going to link the article below so you can read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just some parts. But it says, could ancient humans really have built the pyramids without extraterrestrial help? Or do such questions reveal more about modern societies than the past itself? The idea that aliens assisted the builders of ancient monuments was promoted by the Swiss author Erich von Däniken in his best-selling book Chariots of the Gods, published in 1968. Continue here. The author had pointed to ancient structures, such as the pyramids, along with enigmatic ancient artifacts, as supposed evidence that beings from beyond Earth shape the civilizations of the past. Though these ideas have been repeatedly debunked, television shows such as the History Channel's Ancient Aliens continue air similar narratives. This whole idea here, what it says, though these ideas have been repeatedly debunked, well, not really debunked. Now, my position on this, it's basically, I don't necessarily believe really the idea that aliens build the ancient structures or that created us or anything like that. But I do not disregard it, you know. So, but we start with, it says that the Swiss author Erich von Däniken is the one who promoted this idea, and Zacharias Sitchin, I don't know how to pronounce it, but you know who he is. He also promoted the idea, and many other authors. But in reality, was History Channel's Ancient Aliens. Ancient Aliens. And I'm talking about this because in this month, March, is going to be 17 years since the show aired for the first time in 2009. That was March 8th. 17 years. And to this day, after 17 years, it's still going. It's still going. It hasn't stopped. It's still going strong. Even though with all the crazy claims, but it's still going. And this is the show that it really, with all the authors that talk about this since the 60s, the 70s, and even before that, the concept of the ancient aliens, it doesn't matter. It was this show that really shaped a whole generation, at least from us millennials. From then on, everybody just watched this show and we were like, our minds were blown away, whether we believe in it or not. But we all watch it, you know. So let's check it out.
Ancient chronicles of sky beings creating human life are common in early cultures, found all over the world. But while mainstream scholars often dismiss this evidence, might such tangible historical accounts provide proof of alien intervention in man's evolution, as ancient astronaut theorists believe?
The Sumerians are not the only culture.
There you go. There you go. That's the man. That's the man himself there. Good old Giorgio. He is. I mean, he's probably the most famous about this. Just, you know, I watched this show so long ago, just looking at this, I get nostalgic about it. Look at him. He is the meme. I know you've seen him. I know you've seen him in the memes. Even if you don't hear about these theories, you've seen the man. And, but okay, let's continue.
the Anunnaki themselves were physical beings that came here in giant spaceships that our ancestors thought were some type of divine apparitions. Our ancestors, especially the Sumerians, received help, and that help came from nowhere else but up there.
You see, well, see, that's it. That's ancient aliens for you. You see, crazy claims, and the spaceships and all that. And I gotta say, the show was just crazy, just over the top. Any structure, any culture, any invention, any tool, doesn't matter, any legend, any myth, any belief, everything was because of the aliens. And the thing is, I watching it, it wasn't like I completely believe everything. I kind of believe it for a while. It kind of, yes, maybe, but while you watch it, and it went for seasons and seasons, they talk about every single ancient culture. And it just shows you that there were a lot of mysteries. There were a lot of like real mysteries about all these cultures. And I think for many people like me, it kind of made us realize, oh, well, the past is not what we thought it was, especially because these ancient cultures were way more advanced and intelligent and knowledgeable about the world, about nature, about architecture than we are today, you know? So it's not like evolution is like a linear path, you know, it's like it goes up and up and up. No, it feels like whatever it is, the nature of evolution is not as we were told, right? And that's the realization that happened, right? Ancient Aliens was crazy and over the top and all, and very entertaining, even though with all the crazy theories. But I give it that it kind of opened the minds of a lot of people like me, because to show us all these revelations. So, you know, then you start realizing, okay, we really need the answers to all these things. I'm not gonna say it's aliens, but there's clear, real mysteries going on, right? We don't really understand well the past, and it's just frustrating that even the scientific community and everything just is like, no, well, we understand everything. It's all explained. Don't worry. No, that's not the case. Okay, so the article continues. The reason some people feel able to believe in completely unfounded theories relates to the nature of archaeology itself. The discipline works with fragmentary evidence, layered deposits, and interpretations that rarely yield simple conclusions. Sites such as Giza in Egypt, Göbekli Tepe, a Neolithic settlement in modern Turkey known for its monumental pillars, decorated with sculptural reliefs, and Troy, also in Turkey, are not unsolved enigmas, but the result of decades of systematic excavation and analysis. Now, wait a minute. That's the thing. That's the thing here. Like, you see, are not unsolved enigmas. Who says they are solved? They are not solved. They're still unsolved enigmas. It continues here. Göbekli Tepe shows that its monumental stone pillars were erected by hunter-gatherer communities, millennia before the invention of writing. Before the invention of writing. Not through alien intervention, but through coordinated labor and ritual innovation. So here's the thing. Stone pillars were erected by hunter-gatherer communities. Hunter-gatherer communities. Okay, you see, this is the problem. They think they already know the answers, but they don't know the answers. So they're talking about here about Göbekli Tepe, right? So here is Göbekli Tepe, very famous for being the size that they figured that it could be around 10 to 12,000 years ago or 11,000 years ago, when everybody thought that civilization was or these megalithic constructions were built around 6,000 years ago. So there was a big leap there. And for a lot of scientists, it was very difficult to still admit that they were wrong. But here's the thing. They think, oh, well, hunter-gatherers built this thing. Okay. There are several stages of construction. Now, I'm not an expert on this. You know, I used to like archaeology. I study a lot of archaeology since I was like a kid. I like it a lot, but I didn't study that. I'm not an expert. So I'm just going to give you this short example, right? So you see these here. They say, okay, they build all of this. No, this stonework here, as you see, this stonework here is different than this stonework here, right? It's clear that they found these big structures and they built all of this around it. Now, of course, it probably took different, for a long period of time, perhaps different generations, sure, and the scientists agree with that. Let me show you the size of these things. This is the size of these things. These are huge. So it's possible to erect them, sure. For hunter-gatherers, yeah, sure. This is another image from the same side. And look, it's clear that they found the structures. These are broken here. This one is broken. It's missing the bottom. This probably had, it was like this one. It had the bottom here, you know, and this one here as well, but it's broken. So they're missing. So they were not able to stand up the structures. They had to build all of these around them to be able to erect them. Why? If they have the ways to build these things with their platform, why they didn't build it again? Why they didn't fix it or build a new one, right? No, they found them. Now that takes a lot of work and stuff, but it shows that basically somebody else did this. That's the point. Somebody else built these megalithics somewhere in the ancient past, and the hunter-gatherers found it, whether it's because of their tradition or they just their ancestors, whatever it is, and they built around them. But they couldn't do the same thing as they did. So it just shows you that there is still an enigma. This doesn't prove that it's aliens, of course, and I'm not saying it's aliens. I'm just saying this proves that there's still an enigma. There's still a lot of research to be made. The final conclusion is not that hunter-gatherers did it. So the article continues. Yet, dismissal alone is not enough. Archaeology does more than recover artifacts. It constructs narratives about how humans organize labor, share beliefs, and transform landscapes. Those narratives are shaped by contemporary questions, and acknowledging this strengthens rather than weakens the discipline. I agree. That's true. That's very true. I'm not going here to just trash on this article or these people. I'm not doing that. I agree with some of the things that says here. Debunking alien claims matters, but so does telling richer, more compelling stories about how humans shape their own past. Archaeology shows that uncertainty is intellectual honesty, that incremental knowledge is cumulative achievement. And that's the thing. See, scientists and archaeologists or the scientific community as a whole should follow that advice. But that advice, you are not following it. You see, I like this. Uncertainty is intellectual honesty. You see, that's what they should say. But they're not doing that. They're saying, we know everything. Don't worry about the structures of the past or the ancient civilizations. We have the answer. It's the whole answer. Every time they find something, they're quickly to create a hypothesis, but they don't treat it like a hypothesis. This is the facts, and don't question, okay? Don't question the narrative. And that's the problem, you see? Uncertainty is intellectual honesty. It'd be good that they apply these kind of things. That's why a lot of people believe all these crazy theories. See, the ancient aliens theory, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's true or not. But the thing is that the scientific community sees itself like the bastions of truth, that they cannot be wrong, and here's the thing. The knowledge about the past, or knowledge in general, is power. See, and it's not crazy to believe that there is people out there that have gatekeep knowledge, or that try to alter knowledge. You see, even in the scientific community, because the scientific community is not free from politics as well, because all of this is about power. All this knowledge is about power. See, and if they want to create a different perspective about the past, well, they're gonna make things up. But they say, no, it's because we are the scientific community. It's impossible. The great scientists, they're great, honest, they came from heaven. No, they're also very corrupt. They also lie. Not all of them. I'm not saying everybody. Of course, not everybody. See? But this whole thing that you cannot question them, even if you are not an expert in these things, And that's why people even like to believe all the crazy theories about the aliens, because they are more exciting and everything, sure, But the scientific community also just doesn't let room to wonder and to have other explanations. It's all just set in stone, believe us. And you see, so that's a problem. So I don't know about the aliens. I think that who created all these structures and all this stuff, I think is so interesting and fascinating. But I think that we are not paying attention to what the ancient people are saying, like in their mythologies, in their beliefs, or their writings. They're not necessarily saying it's aliens. These whole interpretations, they thought it was aliens because they don't understand what a spaceship is, so, because they were all very primitive people. But I find a contradiction that we say that these people are so amazing and so wise and so in tune with nature and everything, and then at the same time we treat them like they're stupid, like they cannot tell that there might be some craft flying above their heads, and they might not understand what that is exactly, but that doesn't mean that that's stupid. I think we're projecting the way we are now, the technology that we have today, into the past. We don't know exactly what they saw, or these people, or these beings that came and helped them. Maybe it was other people from other more ancient cultures that were very advanced, like the Atlantis theory or whatever, that teach others, right? Or maybe us, the ancients, are saying, hey, it's the gods, it's the spiritual beings, But for us, that's too weird, the spiritual beings. Maybe there is something about it, So, but I feel like we're just not listening to them. So, anyways, it'd be cool if it was aliens, though. It'd be cool if it was aliens. Oh man, yeah, I would love to believe that, man. And maybe it is. I don't know, man. I don't know. But we'll see, right? So, anyways, so that's what I wanted to show you. So, let me know, what is your theory? What do you think? So the final conclusion to this is that basically it was the aliens do it. It was the aliens do it, okay? It was the aliens built it, the aliens did it, okay? We are half alien and all of that stuff. Yes, that's the final conclusion. There is the proof. We have the proofs, and the scientific community don't get it. Anyways, I don't know. Let me know. Okay, bye.